Think American bikes rule the road? Think again. These Chinese machines are faster, cheaper, and ready to shake up the industry. Here are 15 Chinese bikes that will destroy American brands. Number 15, Vogue 500 DS. The Vogue 500 DS is a textbook example of how far Chinese adventure bikes have come, and why brands like Vogue are making serious waves in the global market. This mid-sized adventurer packs a 471cc parallel twin engine, a platform many will recognize as heavily inspired by the Honda CB500 series. With 46 horsepower on tap and a solid 31 pound-feet of torque, the 500DS has the muscle to keep up with American competition in the middleweight touring class. But it's not just about the engine. Vogue loaded the 500DS with KYB suspension, dual-channel ABS, and a full-color TFT display that even some bigger brands still skip. The bike also comes prepared for adventure straight from the factory, with optional aluminum panniers and a top box that mounts seamlessly to the rear. For a price tag hovering around $6,000, the value proposition is undeniable. Whether you're riding on dirt roads or logging serious highway miles, the 500DS delivers versatility without the bloated cost that comes with many Western adventure bikes. Number 14, Cove 500X. Chinese motorcycle manufacturers know a thing or two about mixing rugged performance with sleek design, and there's no better bike that shows this than the Cove 500X. Powered by the same 471cc twin found in the Vogue, it offers the same 46 horsepower and 31 pound-feet of torque, so the core performance is on par, but Cove went all in on making the 500X feel ready for real adventure riding. Where the 500X separates itself is in its off-road focus. It rolls on spoked wheels with 21-inch front and 18-inch rear tires, giving it legitimate dirt-ready geometry. The KYB adjustable suspension offers generous space for crash bars, skid plates, and handguards. At $6,500, it undercuts many competitors that offer less equipment out of the box. For anyone looking at American or European adventure bikes but frustrated with rising prices, the Cove 500X lands right in that sweet spot. It's more than capable off-road and still comfortable enough to cruise highway miles. Number 13, Zontas ZT125U. The Zontas ZT125U is a small displacement bike with big ambitions. With its sharp styling, full LED lighting, and keyless ignition, it already feels like a premium package before you even twist the throttle. At the heart of the ZT125U is a 124.7cc liquid-cooled single-cylinder engine, producing 14.5 horsepower and 8.8 pound-feet of torque. Not super powerful, but right in line with 125cc standards. What really makes this bike shine is its chassis setup. Zontas gave it inverted front forks, a monoshock rear, and Bosch ABS, all uncommon features at this price point. Speaking of price, at around $3,800, the ZT125U is aggressively positioned against entry-level bikes from American brands. And let's be honest, it looks leagues more modern than most of them. Whether you're a new rider looking for an affordable first bike or an urban commuter wanting something slick and efficient, the ZT125U punches way above its class. Number 12, CF Moto 125 NK. CF Moto has built a strong reputation as one of the top Chinese motorcycle brands, and the 125 NK is a prime example of how they blend style, tech, and performance into something that easily undercuts American competition in the entry-level space. This bike isn't just a 125cc commuter, it's a statement. From the aggressive Street Fighter stance to the sharp LED headlight design, the 125 NK looks way more expensive than it is. Under the bodywork is a liquid-cooled, single-cylinder engine that puts out around 13 horsepower, which is right in the sweet spot for a beginner-friendly urban machine. Not just that, the bike comes with a 5-inch TFT screen, something you'd expect on a much larger, more expensive bike. It's bright, customizable, and even comes with a USB charging port built right into the cockpit. The braking system features front and rear disc brakes with ABS, and the lightweight chassis, weighing around 330 pounds, makes it easy to maneuver in tight city traffic. For riders looking at small displacement American bikes, the 125 NK offers a serious alternative, especially when you realize you're getting all that tech and styling for roughly $3,500. It's a proper gateway bike that doesn't feel like a compromise. Number 11, Lexmoto LXR SE125. The Lexmoto XLR SE125 isn't just another affordable sport bike. It's one of the best 125cc bikes to come out of China in recent years. It's not shy about its intentions either. One glance at its aggressive fairings, twin-disc front brakes, and wide rear tire, and it's clear this bike wants to be seen as a proper sports motorcycle, not just a budget bike. The LXR SE 125 is powered by a liquid-cooled, single-cylinder engine, delivering 13 horsepower, which is about as much as you can squeeze out of a 125 while keeping things reliable and learner legal in many markets. But the real charm of the LXR SE comes from how it rides. It features inverted front forks that give the bike decent stiffness for a sporty feel, and the full fairing bodywork actually provides wind protection at higher speeds, making this bike a bit more long-distance friendly than some naked rivals. Lexmoto is known for undercutting bigger brands, and the LXR SE holds true to that philosophy with a price hovering around $4,200. That's thousands less than comparable entry-level sport bikes from American or Japanese brands, and with its sleek styling and respectable performance, it's easy to see why so many younger riders are ditching the big names in favor of this Chinese underdog. Number 10. Vogue 650 DSX LX. Vogue isn't messing around with the 650 DSX LX. This is a bike built to take on middleweight adventure bikes from all over the world, including the heavy hitters from the US. With a 652cc single-cylinder engine, it churns out 48 horsepower and 44 pound-feet of torque, putting it right in the same performance neighborhood as the KLR 650 or even the Suzuki V-Strom 650. But that's not all. The 650 DSX comes fully loaded from the factory with Nissan brakes, KYB suspension, spoked wheels with 19-inch front and 17-inch rear tires, and a full-color TFT dash with Bluetooth. Even the top box and side cases come standard, something you almost never see on American adventure bikes unless you shell out for an upgrade package. The 650 DSX doesn't just win on price, as it costs around $7,500. It wins on pure readiness. Out of the box, it's adventure ready in a way that most American bikes aren't, unless you start piling on expensive accessories. And with its rugged looks, serious off-road capability, and proven engine, it's a clear sign that the Chinese ADV segment isn't playing second fiddle anymore. Number 9. Zontas ZT310T. Zontas knows how to make a bike stand out, and the ZT310T is a clear example of that bold design language. This adventure tourer doesn't just look the part, it's built to handle both pavement and light off-road duty, all while packing a surprisingly modern tech suite. At the heart of the ZT310T sits a 312cc single-cylinder engine, delivering 35 horsepower and 22 pound-feet of torque. That's plenty for long rides or tackling a mountain pass, but where Zontas really went all in is the tech. This bike comes with keyless ignition, an electric windscreen, ride modes, and tire pressure monitoring. Things you usually see on bikes twice the price. Even the fuel tank holds 19 liters, giving it solid range for long-distance travel. It's the kind of package that leaves a lot of American mid-size adventure bikes looking outdated or overpriced. And with a price point of just around $5,500, it's hard to argue with what Zontas is offering. This is a budget-friendly ADV that doesn't feel like a compromise, and it proves that Chinese bikes are no longer just about low prices. They're coming for the premium features too. Number 8. CF Moto 700 CLX. If there's one bike on the list that makes a strong case for Chinese motorcycles beating American brands at their own game, it's the CF Moto 700 CLX. This modern retro scrambler combines classic styling with modern engineering, and the result is a bike that looks as good parked at a coffee shop as it feels on the road. Under the tank sits a 693cc parallel twin, pushing out 74 horsepower and 50 pound-feet of torque. Numbers that put it head-to-head with bikes like the Yamaha XSR 700 or the Indian FTR Rally. But here's the kicker. The 700 CLX costs about $6,800, which is several thousand less than most retro-themed bikes from American brands. The chassis is sharp, the suspension is well-tuned for both comfort and agility, and the Brembo-derived brakes bring plenty of stopping power. Throw in a ride-by-wire throttle, cruise control, and slipper clutch, and you've got a package that feels thoroughly modern without losing that raw, fun edge that scramblers are all about. This is one of those bikes that makes you rethink the whole Chinese bikes are cheap knockoffs stereotype. The 700 CLX is stylish, fast, well-equipped, and most importantly, it's fun. All for less than you'd expect to pay for something similar from the big American or European brands. Number 7. Benelli Leoncino 500. The Leoncino 500 is a good name that's been gaining serious respect in the global motorcycle community, and for good reason. This retro-inspired scrambler blends Italian heritage with modern Chinese manufacturing muscle, resulting in a bike that punches way above its weight class. Power comes from a 500cc parallel twin, making a healthy 47 horsepower and 34 pound-feet of torque. That's right in line with bikes like the Royal Enfield Interceptor 650 or the Honda Rebel 500. But the Leoncino brings something else to the table: attitude. From the beefy upside-down forks to the minimalist LED headlight, it's got that neo-retro charm that turns heads without trying too hard. The ride itself is smooth and planted, with a chassis that feels both stable at highway speeds and playful enough for urban fun. And with a seat height of just 31 inches, it's accessible to a wide range of riders. At around $6,500, the Leoncino 500 is dangerously close to undercutting almost every American-made cruiser or scramble in the midsize class, all while offering better equipment, fresher styling, and that unmistakable Benelli badge on the tank. Number 6. QJ Motor SRK 400. When people think about Chinese motorcycles, they rarely expect something that could seriously challenge American street bikes. But that's exactly what the QJ Motor SRK 400 does. This naked sport machine comes with sharp lines, aggressive styling, and a road presence that makes it feel like a much bigger bike. It's powered by a 400cc parallel twin engine, putting out around 41 horsepower and 26 pound-feet of torque. That's enough to put it right in the same territory as bikes like the Kawasaki Z400 or Honda CBF 500F. But here's where the SRK 400 goes further. It comes loaded with features American bikes often leave out, like full-color TFT dash, LED lighting all around, and even dual front disc brakes with ABS. Plus, it's very affordable at around $5,000. That's significantly lower than its American and Japanese rivals, and you still get a bike that feels fast, fun, and surprisingly well finished. Number 5. CF Moto 800 MT. If there's one Chinese motorcycle that feels like a direct shot across the bow of premium adventure bikes from the US and Europe, it's the CF Moto 800 MT. This is no entry-level commuter. It's a fully fledged adventure tourer built for serious miles and serious terrain. At the heart of the 800 MT is a 790cc parallel twin, putting out 95 horsepower and 57 pound-feet of torque. And if that engine feels familiar, there's a reason. It's the same platform KTM used in the 790 Adventure. That alone gives the 800 MT serious credibility, but CF Moto didn't stop there. It's loaded with features including a 7-inch TFT dash, cruise control, heated grips and seat, and even tire pressure monitoring. What makes the bike especially threatening to American brands is the price. You're getting all that tech, performance, and touring comfort for around $10,500, a number that looks even better when you compare it to bikes like the Harley-Davidson Pan America or even the BMW F850 GS, both of which cost significantly more. On the road, the 800 MT feels planted and confident. With a well-balanced chassis that handles both pavement and gravel with ease, it's not just affordable, it's capable. And for riders tired of paying premium prices just for a badge, the 800 MT makes a very strong case for stepping outside the usual brands. Number 4. Benelli TNT 600. The Benelli TNT 600 is one of those bikes that truly blurs the line between Chinese production and Italian heritage. This motorcycle is a direct threat to American-made middleweight street fighters, not just on price, but on raw performance and attitude. Underneath the sharp bodywork lies a 600cc inline-4 engine, a configuration you rarely see in that price range anymore. It cranks out 80 horsepower and 39 pound-feet of torque, giving it proper sports bike punch. That 4-cylinder sound is something you simply don't get from twin-cylinder competitors, and it makes every twist of the throttle feel like a rush. The suspension package includes inverted forks up front and monoshock in the rear, tuned for a balance between sporty feedback and daily comfort. Braking is handled by dual front discs with radial calipers, giving you stopping power to match the bike's performance. Priced at around $7,200, the TNT 600 hits hard in a segment where American brands have either gone too expensive or abandoned entirely. It's fast, loud, well-equipped, and undeniably fun. A bike that proves performance and price don't have to be enemies. Number 3. QJ Motor SRV 550. The SRV 550 is one of those bikes that doesn't need to shout to get attention. QJ Motor went for a clean, muscular cruiser vibe, and the result is a bike that could easily pass for something from an American brand, until you check the price tag and realize how much you're getting for less. The bike is powered by a 554cc V-twin, putting down around 47 horsepower and 37 pound-feet of torque. That might not sound like too much, but the delivery is smooth, torquey, and perfectly suited to the SRV's laid-back style. What stands out even more is the build quality. The deep paintwork, the solid frame welds, and even little touches like bar-end mirrors give it a premium feel well beyond what you'd expect at this price point. Riding is where things get even more interesting. The SRV 550 is low, stable, and surprisingly nimble for a cruiser. It's an easygoing, confidence-inspiring ride, which makes it ideal for newer riders stepping into the mid-size cruiser world, a market American brands usually dominate. And then there's the price, around $5,700. That's less than a Harley-Davidson Neister, less than an Indian Scout Bobber 60, and yet the SRV holds its own in terms of looks, comfort, and performance. It's not just a budget-friendly alternative, it's a real contender in the entry-level cruiser space, and proof that China is coming for segments Americans thought they owned. Number 2, CF Moto 800NK. If American brands were paying attention when CF Moto rolled out the 800NK, they probably felt a chill run down their spine. This naked street fighter is aggressive, futuristic, and packed with tech. The kind of bike that makes even established middleweight naked bikes look dated. At its core is a 799cc parallel twin, the same one that powers KTM's 790 Duke. It churns out 95 horsepower and 58 pound-feet of torque, giving the 800NK serious punch in a lightweight, agile package. But raw performance is just a starting point. CF Moto went all in on tech, giving the 800NK a 5-inch TFT display, switchable ride modes, traction control, and cruise control. All standard, all at a price that leaves American competition gasping. The styling is another story entirely. With its angular bodywork, sharp LED lighting, and minimalist tail section, the 800NK looks like a concept bike that escaped the design studio and hit the streets. It's bold, confident, and thoroughly modern, a clear contrast to some of the more retro-styled or conservatively designed American bikes in the same class. For around $8,500, the 800NK delivers speed, style, and tech in a package that feels years ahead of anything Harley or Indian offers at this price point. This isn't just a good bike for the money, it's a great bike, period. Number 1, Benelli TRK 502X. At the top of the list is a Chinese motorcycle that has shaken up the global market and put American adventure bikes directly in its crosshairs. This mid-sized ADV machine has become a phenomenon in Europe and Asia, outselling bikes from far bigger brands thanks to its unbeatable mix of capability, comfort, and cost. At the heart of the TRX 502K sits a 500cc parallel twin, making 47 horsepower and 34 pound-feet of torque, numbers that sound modest until you actually ride it. This isn't a bike built for outright speed, it's a bike built to go the distance, whether that's across state lines or across continents, and it's the equipment that makes that possible. From the factory, the 502X comes with spoked wheels, long travel suspension, crash bars, and even a luggage rack, features you typically pay extra for on an American adventure bike. The seat is comfortable, the windscreen offers great protection, and the ergonomics are tailored for all-day comfort. It's a bike that feels like it was designed by people who actually ride, not just people who design. But the biggest punch comes when you look at the price. Just under $6,400. That's nearly half the cost of a fully loaded Harley Pan America. And yet the TRK 502X is just as ready for the dirt roads and highways that define adventure riding. Now, if you were to pick one of these bikes, which one would you go for? Let us know in the comments. Also, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more videos of your favorite motorcycles.